Hi, I'm Zach.
I'm Zubair.
Welcome again to Harmony.
Welcome back.
Again, we're continuing with Syed Nursi's The Words from his collection, the Risale-i-Nur. For the first word, still in the same paragraph. This time, I think we're going to finish it.
We hope so.
So, just to recap, we were talking about last time the proud man and the humble man, and what that meant, and what it meant when they came across a road cutter.
Yep.
A bandit was the word used in English, and then we're going to continue with the next one, which talks about coming to tents. So let me just reread this one sentence real quickly to get an idea.
Tents?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, exactly. So if he encountered bandits, page 16 of the text, first paragraph on the top of page 16, middle of it. If he encountered bandits, he said, I am traveling in the name of such and such tribal leader, and they did not molest him. If he came to some tents, he was treated respectfully due to the name. That's all for now. If we finish this, we can continue reading this paragraph. I think we should finish.
Do you think it's the common thing in the desert to have tents?
What does it mean? Of course, if there are going to be people living in the desert, they're going to have tents.
No apartments.
Okay, then no apartment buildings, no wooden houses, for example.
Yeah.
There'll be nomadic people living in tents.
So if I go into a tent and I say that I have the name of the tribal chief, tribal leader, they are going to respect me.
Well, yeah. There's a law in the desert. I mean, or mafia law, I mean, in that sense. If you are under
that makes more sense.
Yes, a mafia. So if you work for a certain mafia, somebody else isn't going to touch you because they know that. Then there you go.
Sensitive thing.
Yes. So this is a universal truth that happens. If on the level of states, if somebody is a citizen of America and something happens to them in Turkey, America will intervene and do something about it, right? Yeah. Or vice versa. So so we see that truth in reality all around us in different manifestations. But what does a tent represent in a desert? A tent shows that there are people. There's what? We talked a little.
At least there was some action.
There's some action.
Someone had to put the tent there.
So there's an act. There's
people.
Will. There's all these things that are being manifested. All these different qualities being manifested.
Being manifested, you mean when I see the tent, I can understand the story behind it, right?
Exactly. So the tent in a desert.
I don't like the word manifestation at the first, but yes. Okay.
So if we see a tent, if I'm traveling in a desert.
Oh, there's someone.
There's someone who can do what? What? If I see
Be a shelter.
Be a shelter.
Provide me some food.
Provide food.
Water, probably.
Water. My need for discussion with other people.
I can see someone else.
I can talk to somebody other than my shadow or the mirage in front of me. Okay, so my needs are being met in this tent.
Okay.
So this tent, we can give one symbolic meaning on it. It means maybe one of the...
Even if the tent belongs to the tribal chief that I have the name of.
Well, wait a second. First, what does the tent mean?
Okay.
This tent means, as I understand, we can give a symbolic meaning to it, the manifestation of one of the names of God. Since the whole first word is about in the name of God. This is showing, for example, in the tent, the manifestation of His mercy.
Wait a second. How did you make the connection? As I see the tent, I understand there was an action, there was a will, blah, blah, blah. So when in a desert, when I see in the earth, in the universe, in the existence, when I see something, I see the story behind it.
Yes.
And that manifests a name of the God. Oops.
Why?
Why?
Going back to the main issue of this story is the fact that somebody knows his reality, his position in this world, that he is a created being, and that so is everything else. So are the other people who made this tent. They are just the same. They didn't create themselves. They didn't create the food that they are going to give. They didn't create the emotions that they are going to share.
I think the concept of desert just empowers this, right?
Of course.
Okay.
because he knows that they're in the same position as he is.
Mm-hmm.
They've come together and they've made some sort of civilization, although it might be a very primitive civilization, whatever.
So if
But
I see a tent, I can clearly say that this can't be out of nothing.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And
Great.
And the qualities that are manifested in the tent, in this civilization, this micro-civilization,
Yes.
are also
Can't be out of nothing.
the people there are not the source of it. So it's a manifestation of one of the names of God. For example, I go there, I get food, I feel mercy from them, I feel compassion from them. That means that they are showing the compassion of the one who created them too.
Then my example just vanished.
Okay, so let's not go deeper in that because that will be talked in more detail in a later word, in the second one actually.
Okay.
So if he remembers his reality, the one who took the name of the tribal chief,
I'm sorry.
if he remembered his reality,
Yes.
then he says
That he's nothing.
that he's nothing.
He's being created. Yes.
He says, I am in need of mercy. The people in the tent are the ones who can provide the mercy for me. That means it's actually the tribal chief who is providing the mercy for me.
Come again.
Because the people in the tribal chief did not create their own existence.
They are the people in the tent.
Yes. They are also bound to the tribal chief.
Yep.
They are like his officials.
Huh. Okay.
Okay, because they've taken that. And so if he recognizes the same name that they recognize,
Okay.
then he is allowed to
Enter the.
enter the tent
Mhm.
and have his needs provided for him.
Why don't you say, or can't we say that the tent is put there by someone else, not the tribal chief itself?
Because the tribal chief is on top of everybody. He's like the mafia boss. Without his permission, nothing else happens.
If I see the tent, this tent either has to be in part of this tribal chief or somebody else.
Yeah.
But that's another discussion. Okay.
Okay, so good.
There is no independent tent
Exactly.
in the desert.
Yes. In fact, the fact that there's a tent shows that there's a small tribe in there.
Oh,
The-
if I am afraid of the bandits, let's say, everywhere is full of bandits and I'm trying to get rid of them, and I see a living tent, not demolished, I could easily understand, oh, if this is not demolished or flattened by the bandits, he has to be, that tent has to belong a tribal chief.
Yes,
That's it.
exactly.
Wow. I just answered my own question.
Good. Then let's continue reading.
Okay. I am traveling in the name of such and such tribal leader, and they did not molest him. If he came to some tents, he was treated respectfully due to the name.
Continue. We'll finish the paragraph.
Okay, but the proud man suffered indescribable calamities throughout his journey. He both trembled before everything and begged from everything. He was abased and become an object of scorn.
Okay. So remember, the proud man meant the one who did not,
Take the name of the tribal leader.
because
He did not realize his real position.
exactly he didn't. Yes. So because of that, when
I'm learning fast.
Yes, very good. So yes, so because he didn't do that, when he sees the tent, he sees them as bandits actually.
Why? No. How?
Because he doesn't recognize any tribal chief, he doesn't recognize that they're under a tribal chief.
Ooh, but the proud, just a second. But the proud man suffered indescribable calamities throughout his journey. Do you mean that? Everything, every living thing,
Is a bandit to him.
because he cannot accept, he does not actually accept, choose to accept the tribal leader.
And so he doesn't accept it for himself or for others.
Yeah.
So
Therefore, everything is a bandit for him.
yes, it's the expression that we have in English. It's a dog eat dog world.
What?
Dog eat dog world. Everybody's just fighting against each other, trying to get their own benefit, killing whatever they can.
That's disaster.
That's his perspective.
Calamities. Oops.
Okay, so because he doesn't accept the tribal leader in his life, he doesn't accept it for the other people either.
And he suffers.
He doesn't see tribal chief at all.
Oops.
So
So everything is a bandit.
exactly.
And he suffers
Yes.
indescribably.
Yes.
the next sentence actually deepened this understanding. He both trembled before everything and begged from everything. So
He was afraid. That's the first we talked
yeah,
about.
yeah,
But begging we didn't talk
trembled,
about.
and he begged from everything. He's in need of endless needs, right?
He has endless needs and he doesn't know how to get them.
So he begged from everything.
Exactly. He goes to the tent, sees it as being ownerless. Somebody
Ownerless.
ownerless, okay, and if it's ownerless, if he's not going to want to share any of his wealth, he's going to think that the other side doesn't want to share its wealth with him. And
So he begged.
so he begs from them. They might actually give it to him
If he asked
if he asked in the
in the
right-
name of the tribal leader.
Exactly, but he's begging because he's begging. The thing is that it stems from his understanding, the fact that he begs or not.
And as a result, he was abased and became an object of scorn.
Okay, he himself saw himself as abased and the object of scorn because he was afraid to even go ask for assistance in the first place. He felt that
Yes.
I'm not going to share my wealth with anybody. Why would I? They're the same as me. They're not going to share their wealth, so I have to beg.
Think about yourself. The example that we have given in the last week. When you come to a border of a country and you do not realize that there's a government in that country, how would you go enter to that country
Afraid?
and beg to the office
Exactly.
on the border?
But if the reality...
Please let me in, please.
And the officer is not going to let him in because he's under an order not to let anybody in who
Is not
doesn't have the passport. So it's the author can't the officer can't do anything for him.
Yep.
Though the person who's begging doesn't realize that. He's causing his own problems.
Even if even it happens that he came into the country, everyone will see him as a bandit for him
Yes. and
because
that-
there is no government.
exactly
There is
in
no rule.
his perspective.
In his perspective, of course.
That's good for now then.
Yes.
So then let's end this. So thank you very much. I hope you had a good discussion. Hope to see you next time.